Hello, this is the training for the premium group in Golden Express. Before I start on the training for improving your odds ratio to 1, I just want to talk a little bit about what the premium group, how I go about doing it. As you probably already know, if you're in a premium group, that I always go long and I don't do short. Let me explain why. It's not that I don't short stocks. I do short stocks. It's just that I just want to make sure that the members there, um, the the most important part of trading is risk management, and I don't want anyone to make a mistake when you're shorting, because when you go long, the most you can lose uh, is 100%, which is like to zero, right? Um, but most likely you don't, because for day trading the stock doesn't all of a sudden disappear and goes to zero. So most likely you lose, maybe the maximum is, I don't know, maybe 20-30%, and you probably put a stop right there. But if you go short and you forgot to put in a stop loss, and the stock happens to go parabolic, you could lose more than what you have in your account. You can lose, theoretically, infinity. So you could lose 300%, 500% of whatever you are buying in there, whatever you're shorting, to even 1,000% if the stock goes crazy and you forgot to put in a stop loss. That's the reason why you never see me put um, alerts about shorting the stock and it only going long, because I want to make sure that you don't end up blowing up your account and going to minus just because you might forget to put in a stop loss. So that's the reason why you only see me going long, or only alerts going long. And even going long alone could still plenty for you to make, because on a good day you can make, as you probably already seen, double your money. So just want to minimize the risk for you. When I go short, I don't really post alerts on there, because just to protect the premium members, and I don't short that often. So I mostly go long. I also like to minimize my risk as well, and I can always find a stock that I can go long on, so that I risk going short, right? But you can go short if you want to really maximize. And if you want to go short, you can try that on your own. Usually, when a stock goes up and when I get out of a stock, that means it's on the way down, or it's already on the way down, and you can start shorting that stock. But I'm not going to teach you how to short or alert on shorts, because that's just to protect you. Okay, now let's get to the lesson at hand here about how you can minimize, or not just minimize, but improve your odds for your odds ratio 2 to 1. Okay, so before I go into the detail there, I'm going to bring up an example of a casino. Okay, how casino makes so much money, how a casino makes so much money, and even though the odds to them is very little. Okay, so the best example, like, I'm going to use something in the casino there. It's the roulette table. uh, of all the games they have there, they have all kinds of different uh, kind of games in there, right? Let me see how. Okay, here we go. All right, as you can see, there's a roulette table uh, showing on the screen right now. Let me enlarge that a little bit. Okay, so whether it's blackjack, roulette, or whatever game that they have there, it's always in their favor. The odds are always in their favor, right? But not a whole lot, because they just need a little bit of better odds than you. Because as you can see on the roulette table, there are 36 numbers, right? Actually, there's more than 36 numbers, because there'll be a zero in green, and also there'll be a double zero. I don't know why this wheel doesn't have the double zero, but it should be a zero and a double zero, right? So that'd be 38 numbers. So what that means is that if you're just betting on even or odd, or first 18 or 1936 or black or red, that's not 50-50 because they still have the zero and double zero in their favor. So they are just a little bit better than you, right? However, casinos make a ton of money. They are, like Las Vegas, they got all these gigantic hotels and, lots and lots of money, right? They make a ton. Why is that? Because that little odds that they have over you, when there are millions of people gambling, that little odd give them the edge, right? So, um, when you, what that does that mean that they always win? No, because even though your odds are a little bit less, some people will win, right? However, the percentage of people winning is very small because the people that are playing there, if they win, they keep on playing, right? And eventually, you know, the the odds in the casino's favor will win them, and uh, they end up either losing or probably losing, and the casino will take their money, or if they might win that day, uh, the number of people that are winning would be very small, you know. So just that little odd alone, they could make millions. Now, if you can improve your odds at 2-to-1 ratio when you're trading stocks, now does that mean that you win all the time? No, of course not, right? Because it's only 2-to-1, right? So you do have a better odds than casino have over the people play gambling. But there will still be, times where you lose, right? But again, it's not about just one time. If you do it like the casino have millions of people gambling, then just a little bit of odds, they would be making so much money. That means if you trade a lot and you have the odds of 2-to-1, you end up winning. Okay? So does that mean that you trade one time and you win? No, you might not. But if you trade 1,000 times, yeah, you win more than you lose, right? So let me go into the other part where I explain how to win 2-to-1. You see on the chart here for BTX, when you see it's going up like this with a trend line, okay? Now you draw a trend line and you know that the stock is going in this direction, okay? So how are you going about doing 2-to-1 odds? Well, you look, let's just say that at this point right there, with my mouse uh, cursor pointing, or right at that part when it gets to there, you know that if it follows the trend line, it's going to go up, right? So you know this is at the bottom of, or it's touching the trend line. So at this point, if it's going to go up, you don't know how far it's going to go, but at this one, you know that it's peak at this point. So it's going to go up to that at least, or probably higher because it's trending up. So it's going to go higher. So when it reaches this point, right, or you don't know if it's going to reach this high, but at this point, what you're going to do is you put a stop loss halfway of that. Okay. So let's say this is um, $1, and you have 50 cents. You would put your stop loss 50 cents right there. Okay. So you put 50 cents right there, and it can go to up to $1. So when it reaches this point, you place your stop loss at 50 cents, and your odds of getting $1 or even higher, right? And that's the opportunity of you getting two against one, because 50 cents, $1 is twice as much as 50 cents. So your chance of getting twice as much as you're losing. So your odds is 2-to-1. I hope that makes sense. So when that happens, does that mean that when it reaches touch the trend line, it's going to go up for sure? No, it could drop out of the trend line, breaks the trend line, and drop. But when that happens, it's gonna hit your stop loss, and you'll be out 50 cents. But if it goes up, you will make $1. Now, if it falls down, okay, so you lose 50 cents. But if you keep doing this, when you see this setup, always potential up twice as much as your stop loss. When you do it 10 times, 100 times, you will win more than you lose because you have better odds in the casino against the casino players. So, yes, maybe the first time you try, you might hit your stop loss. That's fine. But whenever you see the setup, you keep doing that, then you win, right? Now, another setup would be, uh, it would be going sideways, like a wave line, right? It's like this trend line, but it's horizontal. Okay, same thing. When it's horizontal, you see potential going up. Let's say $2. You would, when it hits the bottom of that wave line, right, on your chart, you draw a line at the bottom, right? Then when that hits at the bottom, that's when you buy in and place your stop loss half as much as the top when it goes up to the top. So if you keep doing that over time, even if you lose one time, I mean, if you lose two times, you only need to win one time to break even. So if you, let's say you only get, let's say that 50 times it drops off and hits your stop loss, and 50% of the time, and 50% of the other time, it would go up and you win, right? Well, then that's why you take your profit. You place your sell order, and if you 50-50, you still win because your stop loss is only half as much as uh, your profit point where you take your profit, right? So you still win 25%, right? So the other one is only one half, so that is, but at the same time, you don't just buy it for every uh, chart. You have to look for the setup, either a trend line up or a horizontal wave line. And when it's a wave line, like so, it's a bottom. That's when you see it drops down, hit the bottom, draw a line at the bottom, touches the bottom of the wave. That's when it goes down, touch the line. That's when you buy in. Place your stop loss just halfway of how far it can go up to the top. So when you see the setup of a trend line and the wave line, that's when you apply this strategy. Okay. So over time, if you do that 100 times, and you only win 50% of the time, you still win because one win can absorb two losses, and you still break even. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. I don't have. I forgot to get the chart on the horizontal waveline to explain, make it better. But I got this trend line, and it's trying to just make it horizontal. That would probably make it easier to understand. But that's pretty much it. It's very simple. So I hope that makes sense. And whenever you see that setup, you can apply this strategy, and over time, you will win. Okay. Um, but for me, because I play with price action, and I want to win a lot, not just that little bit. But if you just apply this, if you're a new trader and you apply this strategy over time, you come out on top. So I hope that makes sense. And if you have any questions, by all means, you can post under this video or post in the group, ask questions, and I'd be happy to answer them. Okay.